So yun, topic 3.2. So alam na natin no kung ano yung difference ng institutional mindset versus retail mindset. Okay? Kung ano yung differences nila pagdating sa pag-analyze, pag-iisip. So next naman is paano natin gagamitin yung institutional data? Kasi ang institutions naman, meron naman silang tinatawag na order book or yung order flow which is called the commitment of traders report which na banggit natin sa definition of terms, 'di ba? So papakita ko kung paano yung commitment of traders report kasi yun yung gagamitin natin in order to know saan nagfo-flow ang mga orders ng mga big players. Okay? So yun, the COT report. What does it tell you? The active and pending buy and sell orders of institutions. So take note kapag meron kang nakitang numbers na, ang institutions ngayon ay meron ng 250,000 buy orders. Combo na yan ng active and pending orders. Okay? Hindi lang natin alam kung majority ay active or majority ay pending. Okay? Pero alam natin na may active and may pending and yung total niya ay 250. For example, 250K. Yan. Okay, example lang. So, the COT report also tells us what the mood of the institutions is with regard to individual currency. So, hindi ito nag-indicate ng currency pair. Okay? Hindi yung buy and sell orders ng currency pair like NZD-JPY. Pinapakita ni COT report kung ano yung buy and sell orders ni NZD, for example, ni JPY, ganyan. And then it is our job to pair yung mga nakikita nating currencies na parang alam natin based on our analysis na yung okay i-pair. Okay? And lastly, syempre, it tells you order flow, which na-explain ko na kanina kung ano yung order flow. Yan. What the COT report does not tell you, ang COT report ay hindi nagsasabi kung saan yung mga orders. Okay? At what price? Hindi sinasabi. Sinasabi lang kung ilan yung mga buy and sell orders. Okay? Hindi nilalagay kung saan. Kasi hindi naman required yung mga hedge funds and banks mag-disclose ng ganyang klaseng data. Okay? So, it does not tell you where to enter. Okay? It also does not tell you when to enter kasi hindi din natin alam kung kailan i-activate yung mga pending orders. Okay? Yung mga institutions na yung nakakaalam niyan. Okay? So, wag natin gamitin ang COT report para mag-entry agad. Okay? Kasi doon papasok naman si technical analysis or si chart reading. And syempre si bank rider strategy. Okay? Gamitin lang natin to as confirmation kung aligned ang thinking natin or ang biases natin sa institutionals. Okay? May mga iba kasi, and I think siguro kasama din ako dyan dati, yung mga beginner, COT analysis. Nakita ko si NZD. Mas madami ang buy orders kaysa sell orders. Sige, magbabay na ako ng NZD USD. Ayan, may gumagawa ng ganyan. And sasabihin ko na agad sa inyo, mali yan. Okay? Kasi there is a way to interpret the COT data, which tuturuan ko. Okay? Hindi siya basta-basta pwedeng gamitin as a signal to enter. Okay? So, take note of that. Kasi sobrang important yan. Yes. So, yun. Meron talagang iba ginagawang signal ang COT. Yan. So, we avoid that. Yan. So, saan mo mahanap ang COT report? Kapag nandyan ka para sa free SEM ko last time, yung TAT na free SEM, nagbigay ako ng snapshot ng document na to which mahanap mo dito sa yung cftc.gov market reports. Okay? Yung parang white na paper na mukha siyang notepad. Ayan. So, for me, okay, dyan yung original source. Pero for me, masakit sa mata. So, meron na akong ibang source na ginagamit ko para at least mas interactive, mas colorful, yung ganyan. Say exactly the same yung data, pero iba lang yung format. Okay? This is tradingster.com/COT. Okay? Doon ko kinukuha yung COT data ko instead of yung official CFTC website kasi ang pangit ng format ng CFTC website. Okay? Mas madali sa tradingster.com/COT. So later papakita ko naman yan sa inyo. Okay? Yung onting navigation. Okay? And siguro at the same time, siguro papakita ko na rin kung paano mag-navigate ng CFTC na rin for your reference. Okay? So yun. Components of a COT report. So later on papakita ko naman yan eh. Pero let's discuss first yung components niya. So the COT report will show you 3 participants. Okay, yung data ng tatlong participants sa market. Meron ang non-commercial participants. So these are the hedge funds, banks, and bank traders. Yung mga forex department or commodities trading department ng isang bank. Commercial participants, these are companies that counter-trend trade to get the best exchange rates for exports and imports. So for example, si NZD, uptrend. Itong mga commercial participants, mga companies to, nag-aano sila, nagsisell naman sila ng NZD. Nag-go against the trend sila kasi gusto nila makuha yung best exchange rate for their import or export, mga ganyan. Ayan. Kaya hindi sila nagfa-follow ng trend or hindi sila naglalaro ng forex market. Rather, ginagamit lang nila to their import and export activities. Parang ganyan. Non-reportable, siguro tayo yan, yung mga broker, ganyan, yung mga maliliit na amount lang compared to the big players. Kaya non-reportable participants. Ayan. So those three components are part of a COT document. Okay? So ano yung timeline ng COT reading? Okay? Kailan nare-release? Ganito kasi yan. Yung cut-off ng COT report ay every Tuesday. Okay? Tuesday. Cut-off pa lang yan, ha? Hindi pa nare-release by Tuesday. Releasing is by Friday. Okay, cut-off date niya is Tuesday, releasing is by Friday. US time. Okay, hindi PH time. So most likely na-update siya every Friday ng siguro mga 8 PM ganyan. Around that time, mga gabi na. Kasi US time yung sinusundan. So if medyo nahihirapan kayo mag-grasp ng concept na to, isipin niyo na lang ganito, yung sahod nyo. 'Di ba usually ang sahod ay may cut-off sa kailan ba? Usually yung cut-off niya nasa 10. Tapos yung release is nasa 15. Parang ganyan yung concept. So yung sahod mo which is released on the 15th ay nagka-cover lang ng uh, last 25 until the 10th. Tapos release on the 15th. Ayan. Parang ganyan yung concept ng COT. Yung data niya ay nagko-cover ng last Tuesday to this Tuesday and i-release siya this Friday. Ayan, parang ganyan yung idea. Okay? So yun, parts of the COT. So per component, meaning per participant. So meron tayong non-commercial, meron tayong commercial, meron tayong non-reportables. Sa tatlong to, pinapakita ang bawat number of longs, number of shorts, and changes from last week. Pati yung historical data, meron naman din like for last week, ganyan, last week, mga ganyan. Okay? So mas may kita nyo to kapag pinakita ko yung visualization. Okay? So ito yung pinaka-example niyan. So galing to sa may tradingster.com/COT. Kaya magkaiba siya dun sa format ng official website. As you can see, mas maganda tignan compared doon sa may CFTC. Kasi yung CFTC mukha lang siyang notepad. Ito at least may mga kulay, naka-arrange ng maayos, ganyan. So this is Australian dollar. Ito yung example natin. So pinapakita dito ang longs. Okay? So this is as of May 18. Okay, yung data na to as of May 18. Dito yung number of longs. Ayan, circle ko. Number of longs, number of shorts. So spreads, spread lang naman yun. Hindi naman kailangan masyadong yun. Spread yan ng institutionals. No need to bother with that. So yun, yung commercial naman, yung longs, yung shorts, and then total nilang dalawa. Okay, nilagay din dito. Okay? Non-reportable, yan yung mga siguro tayo yan. Masyadong maliit. Okay? So yun, longs and shorts, important din. Important din yung changes. Okay? So anong ibig sabihin ng changes? Okay? As you can see, minus 1296 to. Okay? That means last week, ang number of longs ni AUD ay nabawasan ng 1296 para maging 57862. Okay? So, if inad natin, kukunin ko lang calculator ko. Hindi ako magaling sa mental math. So, kung inad natin si 5862 plus 1296, ang sagot natin ay 59 158. Ito ang number of longs last week. And yung nangyari ay nabawasan ng 1296 para maging 57862. Okay? So ganyan ang pagbabasa. So later on siguro pwede ko na rin ipakita yung sa historical data. Dito may view yung historical data. Okay? So yun, same thing with shorts, ganun din, exactly the same. Okay? So yan. So how to read the COT data? First of all, sino ba yung dapat sundan natin? So sundan natin 'di ba yung mga banks and hedge funds. Okay? Banks and hedge funds lang kasi sila yung mga expert sa pagtitrade. So based dito, wala na si commercial. Okay? Hindi na important yung total. Mas lalo hindi important yung non-reportable. Since ang non-commercial, ang banks and hedge funds, ito lang yung magiging focus natin. Ito lang yung titignan natin to determine how to trade. Okay? Or anong bias natin. Alright? So yun. So step 1, ayan, focus tayo sa non-commercials. Step 1 is get the net orders. Paano i-compute ang net orders? Compute mo lang the number of longs minus the number of shorts. Okay? If net orders are positive, longs are more than shorts, ayan, and you are net long. Okay? If net orders are negative, shorts are more than longs and you are net short. So ano ibig sabihin yan? Kung yung, for example lang, ito for example, gawin natin quick example. Kung ang number of longs doon sa COT, for example, doon sa USD, ay 50K, and yung number of net shorts ay 30K, edi ang net orders mo ay 20K. Okay? Since positive siya, net long ka. Kasi mas madami ang long orders kaysa shorts. Kung baliktad to, let's say 30,000 ang number of longs and 50,000 ang number of shorts, edi ang sagot mo dito ay negative 20,000. Okay? Kasi mas madami ang number of shorts. So therefore, kapag negative siya, net short ang institutions. Okay? So ito mga terminology pa lang naman. Right? Pero very important ay kunin mo yung net orders, okay, ng COT data for the week. Okay? So, etong gawin natin. Iko-compare mo ang net orders of this reading and last reading. Bumaba ba or tumaas? So, this is May 11. Okay, ito yung AUD example natin kanina. Okay? So, yun, balikan natin. Ito yun. Okay? Ito yung May 18 na example natin. Yung ginawa ko ay kinuha ko lang yung May 11 na data. Okay? So, i-compare lang natin silang dalawa. Kapag ni-minus natin itong dalawa, si longs and shorts, ang net orders natin ay 2416, 2,416. Okay, positive siya. Therefore, institutions are net long. That means gusto pa rin nila mag-buy or ang bias pa rin nila ay mag-buy. Okay? Ngayon, ito yung May 18, yung pinaka-recent natin. Okay? I-minus mo ulit yung long sa short. So, 57862 minus 54860. Ang makukuha mo dito ay 3002. Okay? Therefore, net long ka pa. So, i-compare mo yung dalawa. Okay? Mas mataas ang net orders mo in May 18 as compared to May 11. So, ang ibig sabihin yan ay kapag kinuha mo yung net, nag-i-increase ang net orders. Okay? Nag-i-increase siya in favor of longs. That means dumadami yung mga longs. In other words, dumadami pa rin. Coach, hindi ba mas onte yung longs ng May 18 kaysa tawag dyan? Kaysa May 11, parang ganyan. Kukunin mo kasi yung net. So pag kinuha mo yung net, parang yung nangyari ay yung kapag nabawasan kunyari yung mga shorts ng mas malaki kaysa longs, yon, yung net ay aakyat. Parang ganyan. Okay? So, to make it simple, no, para hindi ganun ka-complicated, titignan mo lang yung difference ng last reading and this reading. Okay, yan yung isa sa pinakauna natin gagawin kapag magbabasa tayo ng COT data. Okay? So yun, these are the questions to ask. Are you net long or net short? Okay? For May 11 and May 18. So parehas na net long. So interpretation natin dyan ay nagbabay pa rin or willing pa rin mag-buy ang mga institutions. Okay? Did the net increase or decrease? Okay? From May 11 to May 18, nag-increase ba ang net o hindi? Nag-increase. If net long increase, the mood is continuously bullish. That means maghahanap pa rin tayo ng mga buy opportunities for AUD. Sorry, AUD. If net long decreased, the mood is still generally bullish, but institutions may be starting to pull out. Okay? So, kunyari, kanina si May 11, 2416 ang net orders niya in favor of longs. Bigla na lang May 18, naging 2,000 na lang. Okay? Since positive siya, net long pa rin. That means bullish pa rin ang bias. Pero, it may mean also that sa short term or sa week na yan, nagpo-pull out na ang mga institutions. Pina-pull out na nila yung buy orders nila. Okay? So, ano yung cause niyan? Baka nagtitipi na sila. Ayan, posible yan. Nagtitipi or baka hindi nila feel mag-buy in the short term. Baka magbabay na lang sila next week. Pero this week, baka hindi pa. Okay? So, if net short increase naman, ayan, kunyari negative siya, tapos lumaki yung negative. The mood is continuously bearish. So, parang vice versa lang yan. If net short decrease, the mood is still generally bearish, but institutions may be starting to pull out. So in other words, baka nagtitipi na sila ng mga sell orders nila or mga sell trades nila. Okay, parang ganyan. Okay? So, ito, next is how to read changes naman from the last week's part. So, ito yun yung changes. Meron din tong interpretation. So, the first step is basahin natin yung net orders. Then, meron tayong interpretation for the net orders. Then, meron na rin tayong interpretation for changes. Okay? Kasi the changes will tell us kung ano yung mood or kung ano yung feel gawin yung mga institutions. Okay? So, kung ang changes, kunyari, longs are up, kunyari, positive yung longs, and then shorts bumaba, edi continuously bullish. Okay? Kung shorts down, longs up, bearish. Kabaliktaran naman. Kapag yung longs ay up and then yung shorts ay up, nakadepende. Pwedeng nagra-range muna ang chart. Okay? Naka-consolidation pa si currency. Kapag shorts down, longs down, same thing. Okay? And syempre, by how much? Yan din. By how much ang pagtaas ng longs, how much ang pagtaas ng shorts, how much ang pagbaba ng longs, pagbaba ng shorts. Okay? So yun, mas maganda kung may practical example tayo para mas kita. Right? So ito naman si euro naman para mas para iba, hindi puro AUD. So we will generate a COT analysis. We will generate ano nga ba? An interpretation of this data. Okay? So meron tayong May 11, meron tayong May 18. Alright? So ang first step natin dito ay ika-calculate natin ang net orders ni May 11. And then i-compare natin yung net orders sa May 18. Okay? So mag-annotate tayo ng text. Okay. So yun, kailangan ko to i-calculator. So dito sa May 11, i-minus natin si 223,387 minus 129,480. Okay? So ang net orders sa May 11 ay 93,907. Okay? Right. So yan yung una. Tignan naman natin yung May 18. Subtract natin si longs and shorts. So that's 232,330 minus 132,472. So 99. Ayan. Kung may calculator kayo, pwede rin kayo mag-compute kasama ako. Ayan. Hindi talaga ako magaling sa mental math. Ayan, 858. Alright. So meron tayo net orders na. Sa May 11, ang net orders ay 93,907. Okay? Sa May 18, ang net orders ay 99,858. So, kapag ni-minus mo ang 99,858 minus 93,907, 93,907, ang difference niyan ay 5,951. Diba? So, pwede natin sabihin na net orders of May 18 increased by 5,951 from May 11. Okay? So, nag-increase ang net orders or nag-increase ang mga longs from May 11 to May 18. Okay? So, yun yung first step ng COT analysis natin. Right? So, ang interpretation natin dyan ay, nag-increase ang net orders. So, we can have a bullish bias. Okay? So, bullish bias tayo dito. Next. Sige, tanggalin muna natin to. Yan. So, yun. Sorry. We have a bullish bias pero hindi pa tapos ang ating COT analysis. Kailangan din natin i-analyze ang changes. So, hindi na natin kailangan i-analyze ang changes ng May 11 kasi tapos na siya. Focus tayo sa May 18 kasi yan yung pinaka-recent. Okay? As you can see, From last week, ito yung last week, di ba? May 11, na dagdag ng 8,943 longs in order to become 232,330 yung longs. Okay? And then same thing yung gawin mo na lang sa shorts. Okay? So yun, meron tayong 8,943 buy orders. Okay? So pwede natin sabihin, oh coach, ibig sabihin, ang dami nilang pinasok na pending orders. Okay? So that is true. Madaming pinasok na pending buy orders. And hindi natin alam kung kailan mahihit. Posibleng na-hit na. Hindi rin natin alam. Alam lang natin ay may nakapasok na 8,943 orders as of May 18. Yan lang yung alam natin. Okay? Baka nung May 19, natamaan na, di rin natin alam. Okay? Pero this will tell us the mood. Okay? So generally, meron tayong bullish bias. Eh coach, paano yung mga shorts dito? May nadagdag ng 2,992 na shorts. San to papasok sa equation? Okay, ganito yon. I want you to imagine the euro, kunyari euro USD for example lang naman, chart na parang ganito. Okay? Naka-uptrend. Kasi kung parating nag-i-increase ang buy orders, for sure uptrend yan. Okay? Ngayon, saan usually papasok ang isang trader? Siyempre, papasok yan sa pullback or here. Okay? Papasok yan sa pullback para mag-buy low and sell high. Ngayon, etong shorts, most likely, a portion of these shorts were used to push price down para pwede ka mag-buy low. Para yung shorts na to ay nag-push down ng price para may mga prices dyan na attractive to buy. And most likely, itong a portion of these 8,000 buy orders ay nakaposition dito. Kasi attractive yung price dito eh. Kasi syempre naman, kung gagayahin natin si buy low and sell high, pwede natin sabihin sulit bumili ng euro dito. Hindi siya sulit bilhin dito. Kasi kapag ganyan, edi buy high na siya, which is counterproductive. Okay? So in order for prices to reach this portion, kailangan may maliit na number of sell. Okay? Para matamaan yung majority ng buy. Okay? So most likely may portion ng mga sell orders na nandito na ginagamit para i-push down ng price. Okay? So yun yung interpretation natin. So let's see my interpretation sa next slide. So yun, 2 parts yung interpretation ko. Net orders are at 99,858. So this is more than the net orders reading of 93,907 last week. So therefore, bullish pa rin ang euro. However, this week the longs have increased exponentially, meaning nadagdag yung longs by 8,000, nakita mo kanina. While the shorts have increased also, pero mas onte. This probably means, so yun, ito na yung interpretation ko ng data. This probably means the euro bulls are in control, meaning net long pa rin ang bulls, net long pa rin ang institutions. However, the buy orders are probably at lower prices. Ayan, magkamali pala ako dyan. Ayan, dapat higher pala to. Higher pala dapat to. So yun, dapat higher to. Okay? So yun. Buy orders are probably at higher prices, meaning na masyadong mataas na ang price ng euro. And the increase in shorts are used to push the price down para mas attractive bilhin ang euro. Okay? So parang ganyan siya. Ganyan yung pagka-interpret natin ng COT data. So our job is to look for the most attractive price at which to buy or at which to follow the COT data. Okay? So medyo magulo talaga sa una pero kailangan talaga i-practice kung paano basahin ang COT analysis. Okay?